Well, good morning. My whole routine was just totally blown today. Had some errands I had to take care of. Of course, make my coffee. Just got to my coffee. It's 10:45. What the hell? So I met a wonderful new friend online. Um, he challenged my idea of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And why did I add cheese? Because I'm an idiot. So I'm gonna update it. It's the BBB&E&C diet because I love cheese. I'm sorry, but it's cool. He's a good guy. He was right. Called me out on it, and I stand correctable, man. And then I went out to his channel. I'm gonna really I need to remember this, but I'm gonna link it in the description because he has some. He has like Cincinnati chili recipe, man. This stuff looks so good. I would tweak it only a little because I can't get tomato paste here. I probably could, but you know what? I already figured out how to do it. So I buy a bunch of tomatoes. I roast them on a comal, get them nice and kind of blackened on the outside, and I go ahead and whir that in a blender. No, lie. I pressure cook it first for 20 minutes on full pressure. And then I go ahead and whir that in a blender after I kind of get all the liquid out I can. I'll put that in a pan, and then I'll go ahead and add a little bit of butter, my trick, and reduce it until it's the consistency that I need, whether it's tomato paste. I make ketchup that way. I do lots of really cool stuff with tomatoes. And so, yeah, and of course, I have access again to chili pods. That would be the American English equivalent to the chili ancho, pasilla. So I would probably take, actually, since it's red, I would take guajillo. So I'll have 2 guajillo chili pods. I would cook them with the tomatoes that I'm going to use. And then go ahead and pure all that in a blender with probably my own spices. I know they had chili powder and cumin. Look, chili powder, guys, bottom line is, again, probably pasilla chilies ground, okay? And I don't know if they mentioned the literal chili that they pulverize, all right? And it does have a tang to it if you're not used to chilies. But the idea of chili powder is really equal amounts of oregano, cumin, paprika, and garlic powder. Those 4 things together, oh, they're delicious. So I would probably add that with my ground beef. And Dave, I think his name's Dave, yeah, he mentioned it was kind of sort of dirty keto, but you know, I didn't see anything that I remember dirty in that. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't add extra sugar. The tomatoes are only going to have 2% carb by weight, and by original weight, because I reduced it. Now you'd have to calculate it per tomato, but per serving. And with all the meat and fat in there, and of course, I would load in some extra fat, but definitely butter, probably lard. Lard tastes really good in chili, or if you like tallow, ghee. I wouldn't use coconut oil. It'll taste too tropical, man. Coconut oil isn't for everything and everyone. I adore it, especially with coffee. When I do it, I bought this stuff probably more than a year ago, and I haven't used it all. What is all the blast daggett noise out there? Jesus. So anyway, great guy, great website. Go ahead and do like, subscribe, and share his stuff. We're all on this journey trying to figure out life, getting healthy, so we can take more responsibility. Yeah, I just learned that from Dr. Peterson. That's what makes me happy. I'm responsible. I take care of my house. I take care of my wife. I take care of my kids. I sacrifice. I don't get to do everything I want. Wow. It just, from the center of my core, it warms me and makes me happy. And I don't want to give that up. I love responsibility. Oh, but I have learned to give up control. That's a tricky one. But look into Stoicism and you'll learn how to give up control. Because you don't have control. You do have responsibility, and you control your responsibility, but you don't control the other people. And even if they screw up and waste your money and use too much gas and leave the lights on, you don't have control over that. But you have the responsibility to pay for it. It just makes you happy at the end. Okay, so enough about being manly here. And then I went on to another website where this doctor, all right, he presents with I think it's gynecomastia, I can't remember the name of it. Give me a second. I got to look that word up. Yeah, I got really close. Gynecomastia, moobs. And he also, when he sat down to explain all of the stuff he had in his kit, he has some visually apparent visceral fat right under the rib cage, that bulge, that thickness from behind. If you see people, it looks kind of like love handles, but it's like a straight line. Their interior is completely packed with fat. They may be thin on the outside. This doctor's a little older, and it's amazing. He's the typical the allopathic doctor. Not bad. I mean, my God, he's probably had an excellent career. He saved many lives. He prescribed all the right drugs at all the right time, following all the standards of care. He has a British accent. Obviously, this is probably from England. He didn't sound Irish or Scot or any other of the other British colonies like the United States. Joke, kind of. And after watching you people fawn over the Queen, I really don't know where our Constitution's at today. Okay, sorry, I digress. So anyway, he presents with definite, and I believe he actually stated he is trying to manage some hypertension. So boom, I got 3 things right there. Tell me syndrome X. And he sat there and claimed he wasn't a diabetic. False. You can play what is the definition of diabetes? I'm telling you, if you have syndrome X, you got a problem with your metabolism. And to me, I just lump it all into diabetes. And so anyway, he pulls this thing out of the box. I guess he gets to send a stool sample in because it's a gut biome thing. And they're going to be doing research. And they give him this glucose monitor, which is great. It's awesome to measure glucose, but it doesn't mean anything by itself if you can't get the insulin at the same time. And I don't think there's a insulinometer. I think you actually have to have your blood drawn for that, because the true test of whether you're even approaching diabetes is that HOMA-IR score, and you need fasting insulin, fasting glucose, multiply those numbers together and divide by 405 if you're using milligrams per deciliter, all right? Wow, some big fancy terms there. So anyway, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, okay, appreciate it. Try to get a muffler, will you? All right, thanks. So anyway, there we go with that. And but he's fawning over the glucose and how he's within spec, so he's not diabetic. Again, without the insulin, I can't be sure what your HOMA-IR score. That's your insulin resistance, and we know that's a correlation to diabetes. And then he says they even come with a little scale to measure your macros, I would imagine. And let's make it simple. Cut out sugar, cut out grains, cut out yellow seed oils, cut out refined foods. Stay away from legumes, starchy vegetables, and essentially just eat until you're stuffed, and then don't eat again until you're hungry. That takes into account all of this intermittent fasting, this calorie counting, this macros. I haven't done any of that nonsense since about January. All right, and I still take my weight, but that's I guess it's just one of these traditions. It's kind of like a snaggletooth, or it's like an appendix. I just kind of like to see it still, even though it means absolutely Richard, right? Doesn't mean anything. Speaking of Richard, so let's transition now from this doctor to this dude named Richard. I went out to his site. He went out to mine, obviously, as he was challenging me. Unfortunately, he just doesn't know a thing, and there's no sense in arguing with these people. You just leave them alone and let them live their happy little lives. He looks like he can really do good on these little buggies. I mean, I could tell he was driving, and he's going around the turn. He's doing I don't even know what it's called because I don't do it. When the ass end slides around and you turn into the skid like they did on this this whole set of series of these John or what the hell was his name? Híjole. The family, that one. The car race movies where the guy died in real life or whatever. I can't even remember his name now. Gee whiz. I guess it just doesn't matter. I don't put much attention on Hollywood. But anyway, really an accomplished driver. But unfortunately, in the area of metabolic health, well, it's kind of a zero. I did put my numbers down, and he just sat there and told me, well, your diet won't work because low carb, high fat causes diabetes. Record scratch. Actually, no, sir. So I said, well, you know what? In the interest of bona fide, in good faith, go ahead and send me a research paper, something that you found that, because I'm always interested. Like I said, look, if you have better numbers than I do, I'm eating what you eat, okay? I don't care if it's rats, cucarachas, cockroaches, cucarachas, whatever it is, I will do it, all right? I want good numbers, all right? But so far, nobody's come forward and said, yeah, I eat all the pizza and bread and rice and everything I want, and I'm losing weight like Carter has liver pills, That's from Mr. Vian. If anybody who remembers ninth grade algebra, Mr. Vian's tie used to come up to here. Rest his soul, I guarantee you, I think he's pushing posies by now, but he used to call it Pythagoras theory. I really, I look back on the guy and I liked him. Vient. It means literally the verb to come in French, but it would almost be like the coming, like the second coming or whatever. And it's feminine because it was Vienne, so he had some Franco genes in there. I know I'm wandering, but that's what I get when I don't make my video early enough in the morning. So I'm back on this guy. Sorry. So he's... So there's plenty of studies, and I said, you know what, thanks a lot, friend, but I don't think this is going to go very well. And then he hits me back on two things. This is where I think he saw my video, because he talked about beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Essentially, wow, you're going to be dead in like four days. Actually not. And so anyway, he comes up with this final quip about how I don't know any biochemistry. Look, I may not know all the processes, and I couldn't care less. I just know that if I eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and cheese for any great length of time, my biomarkers, my markers that matter to my heart, my liver, my kidneys, my pancreas, my spleen, gallbladder, brain, you name it, they're happy with that. So, and at the end of the day, I just said, adieu, Richard, and live long and prosper, kind of thing, Shem. So that's how that went. I don't know the guy. It's nothing personal. I just don't argue with people. It's very, very apparent when people start spouting off things that you know. It's like, yeah, gravity's 6.8. Yeah, okay. Actually, show me where you got that info. Well, it's just obvious, 6.8. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Obviously, you don't know anything about gravity. Yeah, I'm a physics professor. I haven't a clue about gravity. You're right. Have a good day. Don't engage these people. They're looking, something's wrong in their life, and they're looking to argue, to get, make meaning in their life, So anyway, today on tap, 6 eggs. Still have Chester. I love this stuff. It's like cheddar jack. It's absolutely phenomenally delicious. And I'm eking down because I'm not eating. I was eating, a strawberry here and there and a chocolate chip here and there. Just nibbling. Nothing huge. But it was holding me up a little bit. And it's like, so today is going to be leftovers. I still have some ribs from yesterday. I still have a chunk of ground beef in there, 6 eggs, cheese. I'm going to cut a little onion on there, so I guess I have to call it the BBB&E&C and onions diet. It's not going to be that much. It's going to be, just for some flavor. And I make it in the butter, and I put the lid on it, and I let the cheese kind of just drape over the cheese, the onions. Oh my God, it's so delicious. And I haven't eaten in 22 hours. Not hungry. I mean, I'm not like, it's like when I sit down and start to eat, then my body goes, yeah, okay, we can manage this. And you eat and eat and eat. And I eat for about an hour, hour and a half. and I'll put down 3,000 or 4,000 calories, and it's pretty much solar noon. So my body has all day, the rest of the day, to process that. That's awesome. So leftovers, the pork, the beef. I got some bacon left. I'm going to throw some of that in there. Obviously the cheese, and I still have one of my tacos that, and it has almost pure. When I made the bone broth, it was all the gristle and stuff. But since I pressure cooked it, it's soft and gelatinous and delicious. I just love that stuff. That was in there with some ground beef, and I think there was a couple of pieces of veg from the pico de gallo that went off. And I had pause because of a loud truck. My clock's actually ringing 11 o'clock right now. So there we go. And so I'm gonna just eat, and I have plenty of chicharron. And at the end, if I'm hungry, which I don't think I will be, but just in case, I'll go ahead and some big long chicharrones. I should actually show you. I'm going to show you what it is. For you guys that hung out till the end, yeah, look at that, man. And I get the flat, delicious-y ones. These, in French, they call it confit, C-O-N-F-I-T. It literally means, it actually means chopped, but the idea is cooked in its own oil. Because they used to do ducks that way. They would make, I can't remember the French word for duck. All of a sudden, canard confit. So they would take the duck, and this was in the Middle Ages, and they would cook it under the olive oil. And if it stayed under the olive oil after it was done cooking, it was shelf stable for a week or more. So nothing could get into the meat. It can't get through the olive oil. So you just pull it out, and then you just eat the meat. There was no refrigeration, so you can. Same thing with chicharron. That's why it's shelf stable. It's literally cooked in its own fat, rendered out, and salted. Nothing can get on it. It'll eventually rance out. Lard does have the tendency to rance, but not for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it just sits out on the counter. I just eat when I want. So anyway, you saw how wide and flat that is. I'll put cheese on it, throw it in the microwave, and just let it kind of melt and ooze on there, and maybe throw some mustard on there. Oh, Jesus. Turmeric, mustard seed, vinegar, salt. Now I need to call it the bacon. The beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and cheese, and onion, and mustard diet. Well, honestly, I'm being snarky. It's damn honest. But yeah, I just love eating all the stuff that I've always loved to eat, and everyone told me I shouldn't eat it because it was bad for you. And you have to eat more junk food and grains and stuff, and fruits and vegetables. Oh my God, or you'll die. Who knew? Your tongue always knew what your body needed, and it tried to tell you, but you kept ignoring it and listening to that young lady, Misinformation, who doesn't know what in the bloody hell she's talking about. Sorry, miss. You haven't a clue. This isn't about consensus, man. It's I don't even care anymore about science. You do to your body what you think you want to do to it. If you like just suffering and being in pain and taking meds all day and you think that's awesome, I love you. Namaste, right? Or namaste, like my buddy in Arizona says. Whatever, man. Or if you really do want to just, 3 to 4 days, you're going to feel like hell. You feel like hell anyway, so whatever. And then for the rest of your life, you feel great. And there's no pain, and there's no nothing. That's how they say it here in Mexico, nothing. No, actually, that's more pocho. Sorry, I don't mean to offend pochos. Anyway, more snark. So anyway, guys, that's it. A little long video today, but really a lot happened, and you can't let people get you down, man. And if you don't agree with me, fine, put it in the comments. You know what? Good or bad comments, I still get a big plus by YouTube. Matter of fact, the meaner you are, the more sorry they feel, and they give me more money. Actually, no, I haven't received anything. I'm not really monetized. This is only my own little vlog, so I couldn't care less. And if you come out there and you're rude and you're being a jerk or whatever, yeah, I'm gonna zap you. You'll be gone from my channels forever. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. All right, cool, guys. Well, that's it. All those little things are like all the videos that I have access to. I barely watch any of them when I can get the chance. But anyway, here we go. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.